Daisy wants me to explain what happened this term up to the time I found the body. She says that is what proper detectives do. Add up the evidence first, so I will. She also says that a good secretary should keep her casebook on her at all times to be ready to write up important events as they happen. It was no good reminding her that I do that anyway. The most important thing to happen in those first few weeks of the autumn term was the Detective Society, and it was Daisy who began that. Daisy is all for making up societies for things. Last year we had the Pacifism Society, dull, and then the Spiritualism Society, less dull, but then Lavinia smashed her mug during a séance, Beanie fainted, and Matron banned spiritualism altogether. But that was all last year, when we were still shrimps. We can't be messing about with silly things like ghosts now that we are grown-up third-formers. That was what Daisy said when she came back at the beginning of this term, having discovered crime. I was quite glad. Not that I was ever afraid of ghosts exactly. Everyone knows there aren't any. Even so, there are enough ghost stories going round our school to horrify anybody. The most famous of our ghosts is Verity Abraham, the girl who committed suicide off the gym balcony the term before I arrived at Deepdean. But there are also ghosts of an ex-mistress who locked herself into one of the music rooms and starved herself to death, and a little first-form shrimp who drowned in the pond. As I said, Daisy decided that this year we were going to be detectives. She arrived at house with her tuck-box full of books with sinister, shadowy covers and titles like Peril at End House and Mystery Mile. Matron confiscated them one by one, but Daisy always managed to find more. We started the Detective Society in the first week of term. The two of us made a deadly secret pact that no one else, not even our dorm mates, Kitty, Beanie and Lavinia, could be told about it. It did make me feel proud, just me and Daisy having a secret. It was awfully fun, too, creeping about behind the others' backs and pretending to be ordinary, when all the time we knew we were detectives on a secret mission to obtain information. Daisy set all our first detective missions. In that first week, we crept into the other third-form dorm and read Clementine's secret journal. And then, Daisy chose a first-former and set us to find out everything we could about her. This, Daisy told me, was practice. Just like memorising the licences of every motorcar we saw. In our second week, there was the case of why King Henry, our name for this year's head girl, Henrietta Trilling, because she is so remote and regal and has such beautiful chestnut curls, wasn't at prayers one morning. But it only took a few hours before everyone, not just us, knew that she had been sent a telegram saying that her aunt had died suddenly that morning. "Poor thing," said Kitty when we found out. Kitty has the next-door bed to Daisy's in our dorm, and Daisy has designated her a friend of the Detective Society, even though she is still not allowed to know about it. She has smooth, light brown hair and masses of freckles, and she keeps something hidden in the bottom of her tuck box that I thought at first was a torture device, but turned out to be eyelash curlers. She is as mad about gossip as Daisy, though for less scientific reasons. Poor old King Henry. She hasn't had much luck. She was Verity Abraham's best friend after all, and you know what happened to Verity. She hasn't been the same since. "I don't," said Beanie, who sleeps next to me. Her real name is Rebecca, but we call her Beanie because she is very small and everything frightens her. Lessons frighten her most of all, though. She says that when she looks at a page, all the letters and numbers get up and do a jig until she can't think straight. What did happen to Verity? "She killed herself," said Kitty in annoyance. "Jumped off the gym balcony last year. Come on, Beans." "Oh," said Beanie. "Of course. I always thought she tripped." Sometimes Beanie is quite slow. Something else happened at the beginning of term that turned out to be very important indeed. The One arrived. You see, at the end of last year, Miss Nelson, the deputy headmistress and our dull old music and art mistress, retired. We were expecting her to be replaced by someone else quite as uninteresting. But the new music and art master, Mr. Reed, was not uninteresting at all. He was also not old.